Good evening, good afternoon, or maybe good morning. My name is Phil from Radio.co, and thank you very much for joining me for this live demonstration of Radio.co. During the course of the next maybe 45 minutes or so, I'm going to be guiding through the software, show you how it all works, covering all the basics to pretty much show you just how easy it is to launch your very own radio station. Maybe this is something you've thought about for a while. Maybe this is just something that's completely sprung to mind within a dream you had last night, maybe. Thank you very much for joining me, whatever your reason for doing so. And hopefully you'll be able to see within the next 30 minutes just how easy and effortless it is actually to get your own online radio station on air. And then after the demonstration, we'll be taking some questions. I know there was a form going out within our emails for the past couple of weeks. So I've pulled out a couple of questions already. I say a couple, 6 to be exact, so far. So please, wherever you are watching, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, please give me some live questions, live hellos if you want to. But yeah, send us some questions, and Jack behind the scenes is going to filter some of them, and we'll cover them for as long as we can for the rest of the tour. So you should be able to see my screen. So I'm going to let my face disappear in a second or so, and basically talk to you through the software. So the way you get to this, which is our dashboard, what you'll be doing is going to our website. We have a pricing page. If you click on that, you'll see that we have 5 different subscription plans. Each of them will give you all the essential tools that you need to begin launching your online radio station. Those essentials are things like automation, scheduling, live broadcasting, obviously a way for people to listen, and the ability to manage your own station remotely. Once you have created your account, it takes about 3 minutes or so, and you'll then see this, which is your dashboard. So you should be able to see my mouse hovering around here. So this is your dashboard. This is what you'll see every time you log into your account, whether that's you as a manager or owner, a music controller, or a DJ. Different roles see different variations of this, but it's more or less the same. But it's just a general overview of what's going on your station at the moment. The most important thing is your on-air, off-air button. I say button because that's exactly what it is. You can turn your station on and off as often as you like. What the majority of people, I dare say almost everybody do, is they turn their station on and then they leave it running 24/7 because it's actually us that power it for you. A lot of people ask us, what sort of internet strength do I need? Do I need a computer on 24/7? You don't. We'll power it for you. We'll keep it all running in the background for you. The only time you would ever need your computer on is if you are hosting a live show or you just wanted to log in and make some changes. But otherwise, you'll see this. As I mentioned, you can broadcast live. This is what you'll need to broadcast live. You'll first of all see the connection status. So are you, a host, currently connected to the server? If you are, great. That means you can broadcast live. So I'm not doing a live show at the moment, which is why it says not connected. But if I was, that would say connected or live. This will also count down the time I have left of my show, or in this case, until I next start my show. And you'll see here a little button that says download broadcaster. What that is it's an extra little piece of software. And what a broadcaster is, or an encoder is another name, it just tells the software where your live audio is coming from. Now, that live audio could be a microphone you got plugged in, a mixing desk, or an interface like I have plugged in at the moment. It could be a headset even. You just tell the software where you want your audio to come from, and it will go out live on air. It's incredibly simple to actually go live. This particular one here is just exclusively for Windows. If you are a Mac user, you need to use a third-party one. The one in particular that we recommend is called Broadcast Using This Tool, or BUT. Is the nice acronym for it. I think that's the right word, acronym. And then to connect to that, you need to click on where it says connection details, and you will see a unique host, port, and password for your account. Use that with BUT, and there we go. You're live on air. But you can find more information, more guidance on how to broadcast live within our Radio.co University or on our help center, which is help.radio.co. What you'll see here, this will be relevant depending on whichever plan you subscribe to. As I said, we have 5 different subscription plans, each giving you all the essentials, but they all vary in different allowances and sometimes features, such as concurrent listenership, bandwidth or listening hours to use up every month, and even storage. How much storage are you currently using for your music, jingles, ads, podcasts, whatever you like. And this just shows you what tracks are playing, what I've previously played, what's coming up next, and in terms of our schedule, what shows have we got coming up within the next 24 hours. Okay, so if I go to media, this is probably where you'll end up going first because this is where you upload your media. And what you'll do here is you'll click on the add media button at the top. click here where it says select files. You can select files from your computer, or maybe your live sort of like your hard drive rather, or maybe you can upload tracks via Google Drive or Dropbox, something like that. So what you can do is you can select any tracks that you like, and they'll gradually upload. You can upload anything you want as long as it's in MP3 or AAC, or M4A is the other name for it. Upload anything you like. And once you do, they'll all be appearing here in a big long list in the order that you uploaded them. Now, what you'll see as well is we have different ways of organizing your media. The one that we have here is tagging. You can tag your tracks to help you identify what on earth they are. Maybe you are uploading a wide variety of different music genres, or tracks from different decades. You can tag your tracks any way you like, because it's there to help you organize first and foremost. So what I can do is just highlight these tracks here. And maybe these were, I don't know, R&B tracks, something simple like that. If I just type in R&B, click on add, it will then create that tag and attach it to those tracks. So now I know these tracks are R&B tracks. And if I go to the tags option on the left, what you'll also see is a list of all these tags, and also how many tracks are associated with each one, just like that. So there you go, very, very easy. Just helps you organize. But you can also use these tags to help build your playlist as well. Now, if I go to recordings, this is a great feature. If you subscribe to at least our bronze plan, you can actually schedule your live shows to record. And this is a fantastic way of recycling your content. So a lot of people want to start radio stations, but they're also interested in podcasting. Podcasting at the end of the day is an on-demand radio show, an on-demand talk show to be more specific. So here, if you did do a live talk show, why not schedule it to record? As soon as you have it, maybe you want to download the recording, make a few changes to it. You can upload it directly to our sister company, our sister platform, Radio.co, and upload it immediately as a podcast and roll it out to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places. Or if it's a music show, why not publish it directly to Mixcloud and just invite people to listen to it again? It's a great way to make sure your live shows are no longer simply one and done, never heard again. Voice tracking is a fantastic way of very easily recording content. The voice tracking tool will let you record content up to 10 minutes in length. You just choose an input, so just a microphone, a mixing desk maybe. Any audio that's going through that piece of equipment will be recorded. So that could be just a microphone. It could be a piece of music you play through it as well. It could be a caller. Maybe you're doing a quick chat, a quick interview with somebody. But you can record content directly within the software, place it into a playlist, and then schedule it. It's very, very easy. We also have live relays. What that does is it allows you to schedule a live feed from a radio source from elsewhere. So another online radio station, and you can broadcast whatever they're doing at that time on your station at that time. Talk shows is a fantastic tool. I was talking about podcasting just moments ago. This is kind of a great way of doing it. A talk show feature will allow you to create like an online chat room, an online recording booth rather. You can invite people into this booth, click on record, and you can record up to a 60-minute show with up to 3 guests alongside you. So it's just a way of getting remote guests or co-hosts together in the same room to record up to a 60-minute show. So it's something to consider, especially seeing this is included in our Gold and our Pro plans. And we also have another feature which is available in at least our Silver plan, which is the News Bulletin Builder. So if news was something of interest, you can actually completely automate it. And by doing so, you will automatically schedule a news broadcast to play at the top of any hour you like. Choose a news intro and outro. Doesn't actually have to be a piece of music. Could be a jingle, top of our jingles. Choose a news source that you're allowed to use. There are plenty of services around, and we actually have a nice list of them within our blog. Tell the software when and what days, what times you want this news to play, and it absolutely will. So it's a great tool to consider to give you that more professional touch to it. Okay, so enough about features for now. Let's build shows. So if I go to playlists, this is where you will build your shows. What you do is you will just simply create a playlist. Now, even if this is a talk show you're going to be playing, at the end of the day, a playlist is just a running order, and you're telling the software what time you want it to play. So your playlist don't have to just contain music. They can contain back-to-back talk shows, maybe old shows you've done, jingles, whatever you want. Tell the software what you want it to play, and it will. So I've got a couple of playlists here. But there is one here called the default playlist. Now, you will actually be given this playlist when you create your account. And the default is really, really cool. It's really important. The reason being is because we've actually built it to do two important jobs. First of all, if you are hosting a live show and your internet connection cuts out, or you have a DJ like me who you have no idea, but I'm incredibly unreliable, and I don't turn up for my show, or something happens, a family emergency, and I can't do it. Well, instead of it going to awkward silence, you can actually set the default playlist to play anytime something like that happens. So your audience will be never left in the dark. They'll always be hearing something, even in the event of something going wrong. So use this default playlist initially as your backup playlist. Fill it with as much content as you want. The other job that it does, it will actually automatically fade in during any gap in your schedule. So if you don't want to create 24 hours of content every single day, I mean, who on earth has that much content, particularly right from the off? That default playlist will actually fill in any gap in your playlist. So you could actually build a playlist for 1 hour a day. For the other 23, this plays on loop. It's totally up to you. I'll show you how that works a bit clearer when I get to my schedule, but let me build a show. So at the top here, it says new playlist. So I'm going to call this one nice and simple. I'm going to call it Phil's Rock Show, something like that. Give it a color. There we go, a nuclear green color. Click on the add button. And when you do it, it'll then take you to your playlist builder. So you can see the name of your playlist here and its current duration. Now, what I can do is place tracks into this playlist. And to do that, just click on the plus button next to every track I want to add into my playlist. And you'll see every time I do, it's jumping straight into my playlist, nice and easy. I could also drag tracks in if I want to. I prefer to give that little button press. But you can see as soon as I click on it, it's jumping into my playlist, and it's also adding up the duration so I know exactly how long this show is going to be. I guess for the best shows, you want to get them as tightly knit to a top of hour, like a 3-hour show or maybe a 2.5-hour show. Just make it as tight as possible. But when you built your show here, it doesn't matter if it's not in this right order because you can move it around just with the mouse. Get everything in the right order just for you so you don't have to add tracks into a specific order. You can add them all into one batch, move them around as such. You can also search for specific tracks if you want there. Now, of course, if I scheduled this show, it will play in this exact order, top to bottom, for 2.5 hours. But what if I want an element of randomization to it? Well, you can do that by using tags. So if I click on tags here, what you'll see is that same list of tags I showed you earlier. However, this time I can take these tags and place them into my playlist, like so. Now, by doing this, you're telling the software, play whatever you want, as long as it's within this category, essentially. So by placing this 90s tag here, I have roughly 200 tracks I've tagged as 90s. By placing this tag in, the software will simply play a random track associated with that tag. And the software's clever. It will remember everything that it's played before in terms of within this tag. So I could put the same tag in 200 times, because that's how many tracks I have in 90s, and it will be different every single time. The 201st track will be a track as played before, but again, it will play them all a second time before playing any of them a third time. So it's just a nice way to guarantee random tracks, even if you are placing back-to-back tags like that. And you can actually build playlists completely built of tags if you really, really wanted to. You'll also see a special tag here called Play Request. You can actually put a request widget on your website if you want to get people involved and for them to choose from a pool of tracks that you've made available. And if you want them to play on your station, even during automation, take this command, place it throughout. What will happen is every time a track is requested and is sitting there in your request manager, anytime it gets to this command, the software will play the top track from that list. So that's how you play requests. Okay, so if I go to recordings, if you have any of your old live shows, so here's an old show from almost 1 month ago exactly. If I want to play this, I can just take it, drag it to my playlist, and there you go. I'm now playing an old 2-hour-long live show in my now 4.5-hour-long playlist. Voice tracks. As I said, this will let you record vocal content up to 10 minutes in length. And to record one, there's actually a handy little microphone at the top. So if I click on that, click on this red microphone button, what it would do is it would then ask me to confirm what input I'm using. This will be very, very similar to when you're broadcasting live. You just need to choose the right option from a menu. So that's the one I want to use. Click on this a second time, and it will then start counting backwards from 10 minutes. So it's currently recording everything that I'm saying through my microphone. So I could use this time to introduce an old track, maybe introduce an old show, interview someone for 10 minutes. I could just talk for 10 minutes. Some people are actually using this as a way of recording jingles or adverts because it records, a nice little recording booth. Now I'm happy with this. So I'm going to click on stop. You can then listen back to it to make sure it sounds okay. If you don't like it, clear recording and start again. We actually have a track editor feature, which will let you amend how a track starts and finishes. You can't do any more than that. But if you recorded a voice track and you weren't happy with how it started or how it finished, change how it fades in and fades out, or just exactly when it starts and finishes. If you do like it, give it a name. Call this one Phil Intro, nice and original. Click on the create button. Do exactly that. It will create it and place it by default at the bottom of my playlist. So I'm going to move this around like so. Maybe it introduces, the show, like so. And you can record as many as you like, place them throughout, and it just gives a nice feeling that your pre-recorded music show actually has a live host behind it. And these voice tracks will just fade in and fade out either side of your tracks. Nice and simple. Now, I'm happy with this playlist now. I'm going to click on save. And it's now ready to get on air. So if I click on schedule, you'll see days of the week along the top, times down by the side. And these times will be relevant depending on which time zone you select. That's a question we get asked a lot. There's no one time zone. Select your local one, and that'll be the schedule that you'll see. Now, as I scroll down, you'll see what my station looks like. And I actually have 2 shows, and that's it. 9 till 12, a breakfast show with Alan, and a live show, 6 till 9 with Graham, doing an R&B show. Now, I have gaps here every day between 12 and 6. And if you remember, we have that default playlist, which is built to automatically play during any gap in your schedule. And there just so happens to be a gap here pretty much all afternoon. Now, what will happen is, as Alan finishes his show, and it approaches the few seconds before it gets to 12, the software knows nothing's coming up next. So as Alan is fading out, it will crossfade and fade in your default playlist, which will then continue playing on loop for as long as it needs to. In this case, it's going to play it on loop for 6 hours, and it will always fill in that time. If your default playlist was 1 hour long, it will play it on loop 6 times. If it was 12 hours long, it will simply play 6 of it. It will always fill in that time. And the same here, I have nothing between 9 and 9. So again, for 12 hours, that default playlist is playing. It's just such an easy way of managing a 24-hour station. And some people actually have completely blank schedules and they just update their playlist from time to time. There's different ways to build them. I guess the majority of our users will build shows here and there, and they let us fill in the gaps. So that's what I'll show you. I'll schedule a show now, 2 till 4 tomorrow. So if I click on 2, fade it down to the time I want it to finish, which in this case is 4 o'clock. When I let go of the mouse, it'll ask me to confirm the details of this show. You can see here, starts at 2, runs for 2 hours, therefore finishes at 4. Great. Now, currently, I've only got it scheduled for Friday, but if I did want to, I could schedule it for other days of the week as well. So I can select Tuesday. It will schedule it for Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, or every day. And it will schedule it 2 till 4 on all those days I've selected. You can also repeat this on a weekly basis. So again, if I knew I wanted the same show going on air at the same time every week for the next 2 years, you can select 2 years in the future. But I won't go that mad. I'll just select 1 year, so the 25th of March, 2022. Now, before I create this event, I need to first decide what kind of show this is going to be. Click on the Advanced tab, and you're going to come to here, the event type. Now, this is why you tell the software what show this is. So if I click on playlist, as the name suggests, that means I'm going to simply play a playlist on air during this time. Now, here is where you select said playlist. Click on this drop-down button, and you'll see all the shows you've made. So Phil's Rock Show, that's the one I want to play. So I'm confirming I'm playing the Phil's Rock Show playlist 2 till 4 every day, every week for the next 12 months. And if I'm happy with that, click on Create Event. It'll take about 2 seconds. And there we go. 2 till 4, Phil's Rock Show playlist is playing. And that's how easy it is. Just upload content, build a playlist, tell the software what time you want it to play, and it will absolutely do that. It will fade in automatically at 2 and fade out automatically at 4. And even though there are gaps either side, they will be filled by that default playlist. So again, it doesn't look like it, but that's 24 hours of content ready to go. Now, if you want this to be live, maybe some of you are going to be exclusively broadcasting live. That's absolutely possible. So what I can do is just click on this event, and I'm going to change it now from a playlist to a live DJ. I now need to tell the software which DJ, which host this is going to be, because it's going to be expecting that particular person to be logged in I'm ready to go. So you'll see a drop-down option here, and this is where you'll find everyone that's associated with your account, everyone who has access to it. Now, it could very well just be yourself that has access to the account. You may not want anyone else involved, but each of our plans does allow you to invite a certain number of people on board. So these are everyone that's associated with my account. So I guess being the egotistical maniac that I am, I'm going to select myself here. So that means I'm telling the software that me, Phil, I'm going to be hosting this show. I'm going to select it to record because I would like to turn it into a podcast when it's finished. And if I'm happy to go, I'm going to click on Update Event because obviously I'm making some changes to it. Because you can actually update any event. It doesn't matter how far in the future it's scheduled for. It doesn't even matter if it's currently on air. You can make as many changes to things as you like. But now you can see 2 till 4, Phil, me, I'm going live here. And as a DJ, I can connect up to 5 minutes before I'm due on air. So at 1:55, I log in, I get connected, and I'm ready to go. I will automatically fade in at 2 and automatically fade out at 4. You can also see I have a backup playlist. So you know exactly what's going to play in the event of something going wrong. In this case, it happens to be Phil's Rock Show. And actually, if I click on Live DJ here, any playlist I have selected here will be selected as your default playlist or your backup playlist. It doesn't always have to be that one at the start. And you can also see recording has been enabled. So I know when I come off air, I have a 2-hour-long file of my show. So that's how easy it is to do a live show. Just tell the software who's going live and what time. And as long as that person does log in on time, maybe it's yourself, as long as you get logged on in time, you will absolutely go live on air and have freedom to play whenever you like. And again, if I want to delete anything, click on it, click on Delete Event. You can delete just the one you've selected, or in this case, I'll delete them all. I don't want them anymore. But you'll see just how quick it is to remove anything. So you'll see that software is very quick, very efficient, very responsive. So whether it's creating, editing, and deleting, it's incredibly quick and easy to do. And that's all that's involved in programming. You'll see how easy it is to actually upload content and build your shows and get them on air. As I said, the software is very responsive. It will do, exactly what you've asked it to. Now, there is another option here, which is actually a brand new feature we released just a couple of weeks ago, hence why it still says beta. So we're still ironing out a couple of creases. But here you'll see our calendar widget. This was probably one of our most hotly anticipated features. It's been requested for a number of years, so we've been able to get around to implementing it. What this does is this allows you to embed a version of that schedule onto your website. So anyone who's visiting a website to listen to your station can see exactly what's coming up over the course of the week. You can select its different color schemes, a different message, different images, different sizes even. You can make it a lot smaller, but it's a nice way. Just follow the instructions, make it look to resemble, the color scheme of your website maybe. And you can just click on where it says share that embed code, paste it onto your website, and your audience will see something that looks like this. And there'll be another widget I'll show you in just a moment. But first of all, if I just click on the Listen tab, this is probably the most important stop on the tour. How on earth do people listen to my station? Obviously, you're making something, you want people to listen. So first of all, if you go to the Listen tab here, you'll see this. It's a unique URL, a streaming link that's automatically given to your account when you create it. What this does is this allows people to click on it. They can listen to your station in probably not the most attractive means, because this just opens up a blank browser tab, a black browser tab on their mobile phone or their computer with just a play button. It streams to your station automatically. So there's nothing to look at, but it's still a very easy way people can listen. Alternatively, you can use this URL on a number of internet radio directories, such as Streamer. They are still very, very popular ways that, of people listening to radio stations. And if I go on web players, very similarly to that schedule, you can actually create a web player and embed this onto your website. Again, make it look fitting for your website with a different color scheme. These images you can see here, this is displaying the cover art of any track that may be playing. This displays the branding of my station, or it could do something a little bit in between, something a bit arty here. But it comes in different shapes and sizes. If you click on the Add Player button, it takes about 30 to 60 seconds to build this. Click on where it says Copy Embed Code, and away you go. It's arguably a much more beneficial way of directing people to your own personal website, your own personal domain name to listen to your station, rather than a link that just contains a random series of letters and numbers. Build a website, direct people to it, and this is what they'll see when they come to listen. Alternatively, if you have a bit of coding knowledge, a bit of a coding background, you can actually build your very own DIY player kit and make something truly more bespoke. And you'll find a bit more information about that from our Radio.co University, or if you do sign up, you'll find it there. I mentioned it before, requests. You build a request widget, and very similarly to how this looks, it just allows people to choose from a select pool of tracks, and any requests are made will be sitting in your requests manager. And when they're listed there, that command, that play request command I showed you when building a playlist, that will automatically play tracks that have been voted for. Now, statistics. This is great. It's a way of finding out how well your station is doing over a certain amount of time. The maximum amount of time we keep these statistics for is 60 days. So we're looking at the last 30 at the moment. But I can see how many unique listeners and how many total listeners. A lot of people do ask me, what's the difference between total and unique? Unique is actually people. Total is the maximum number of times this amount of people have listened to the station. So if you think about it this way, I am one unique listener. I might listen to your station 3 times in one day. That makes me one unique listener, but 3 total listeners. That's how it works. So that's how many people are actually listening to your station here. It also shows you the maximum number of people listening at the same time, which seems to be on the 19th of March there. Average listening time, how long are people listening to my station for on average? But the coolest information you'll want to see is where in the world your station is being listened from, because it's available over the internet. Anyone who has access to a way of listening to your station, like that streaming link, can listen. So you'll see here, these are the most popular countries, quite an eclectic collection there. But you can also see how people are listening to my station. What web browsers are they using? Android or Google Chrome or Safari, or even what devices, TV, smartphone, desktop. However and wherever people are finding your station, will be there to monitor it. And the exact same way will show you in real time. So if I click on real time, you will see exactly who's listening to your station right here. So I've got 3 live audience members. I've got one listening from Germany, from Dorset in the UK, and even Greece. You can see when they connected, what device they're using. Oh, Greece is gone. Didn't like what I was playing. Not a fan of David Guetta. And also how much bandwidth the user is using as well. Something else as well, we'll be talking about licensing now in the reports. So a lot of people also ask about licensing. As a general rule of thumb, if you plan to play copyrighted material, you will be required to get a broadcast license in place, just to give you the legal thumbs up to play pretty much whatever you want. We don't include licensing in any of our plans, so it is something you would need to source independently. And for the most accurate information when it does come to licensing, you need to get in touch with your local authority, local organization. We have tons of information about licensing on our website. I'm sure if you type in Google, just Radio.co license, you will come up with one of our many pages about it. But generally speaking, you will pay a yearly fee to an organization who will pay out royalties on your behalf. However, in order for them to do that, they need to know what you're playing. So here you'll see my recently played. This updates obviously as soon as over the course of 24 hours. But what they'll need is our track summary. Now, again, we'll keep all this information for a maximum of 60 days. So even if you only need to send a report once every quarter, make a habit of downloading it as often as possible. But you'll see here now what tracks I've played over the last 30 days, how many times each of these tracks is played, how many people have actually listened to it. You can download that information, email it off to the organization that need it, and they'll then know who to pay in royalties and how much to pay in royalties. And again, for the most accurate information regarding cost of licensing and the regulations involved, does your license cover you for X, Y, and Z? Please get in contact with your local authority, and you can find all information about that from our website. Or if you drop me an email at studio@radio.co, I'll point you in the right direction myself. This is actually also a really good tool for advertising. If you've got any commercials playing on your station and you want to show how popular they were, this is a great way of doing it. Say, for example, this was an advert. I know how many times it's played over the last 30 days, how many people will actually hit by it. So it's a nice, primarily for licensing, but it's also a nice way of incorporating your commercials in as well. Add-ons, quick little tour around here. This is just a way of getting maximum exposure for your radio station. If you want to open up even more ways that people can listen to your station, why not invest in a dedicated iPhone app and a dedicated Android app. And the reason why I'm putting emphasis on dedicated is because they're exactly that. They are white labeled. They don't feature any Radio.co branding on them at all, and they don't allude to anyone else's station. It's 100% yours. People would download an app that's named after your station. It's got all your branding on, and they listen to your station whenever they like. And if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how to build an app, truth be told, neither do I. But what you do is you go to our iOS app and our Android app builders. And it's just a step-by-step guide. In the same way, I'm giving you kind of a step-by-step guide to get started with your station. This is the exact same vein. What you do is you choose the name of your station here, the logo associated with it. You choose the color scheme, preferably probably not something as garish as that. But yeah, you choose how it looks. Link people to your social media pages, a website, even a YouTube channel. People can download this app from the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, listen to it from anywhere in the world, and even get in contact with you through the app as well. So it's just a way of making it much more efficient, people getting involved. We also have a website builder. If you want to build your very own website through us, you can for an extra $12 a month here. And also the Alexa skill. So this will give Alexa the capabilities of playing a station. I've got to be careful because I've got one nearby. I don't want to say a name too loud. But yeah, you can ask her to play your station. And again, it's 100% yours. It's a station stream that's dedicated purely to your station. That can be added on for an extra $10 a month or £8 a month. And with the apps as well, they are an extra $15 a month extra to add them onto any of our plans. But if you subscribe to our higher end plan, so our gold plan, for example, you'll find an Android app and an Alexa skill included. If you subscribe to our pro plan, you'll see both the iPhone and the Android and the Alexa skill. Otherwise, add them on for an extra fee to any of our plans. Settings. This is really for you to have a little play around with, but as a general overview, this is where you choose the name and the look for your station. Broadcasting settings, so how well your tracks fade in and fade out of each other during automation, of course. Live anytime, that allows the owner of the account, which could be you, just means you don't need to schedule yourself to go live. You can go live, as it says, anytime. And streaming quality. All of our plans let you broadcast to a really nice quality, high quality of 192 kbps. We do actually allow you to broadcast up to 320 for a really pro studio sound. And if you do want to stream to that quality, you will need to subscribe to our pro plan. And we also have mobile streaming, so turn that on and people can listen to your station from a mobile device as well. We have security measures, so you can block certain countries from listening to your station through our geoprotection tool. If you want to only keep your station restricted to one particular country, you can set that. We have advanced settings, so even if you play tracks at random, the same artist or same album won't be repeated. Integrations, as I said, we have our very own sister company, Podcast.co. If you link two accounts together, then you can instantly upload any live shows you've recorded as a podcast. And something to consider, if you are interested in having both a Podcast.co account and a Radio.co account, we can work out a 10% discount off each of our platforms if you wanted to combine the two. Just get in touch with myself about that, or reach our team at Podcast.co at hello@podcast.co. Twitter will automatically tweet out any new tracks you're playing. Zapier, that's how you connect your account to Google Drive and Dropbox for a bit more convenient uploading. Even Mixcloud, that will let you, as I said, in the same vein to Podcast.co, that will allow you to upload and publish tracks directly to Mixcloud. And then billing information. You can actually upgrade and downgrade your plan anytime you like. So anything to do with what you're paying for and how you're paying for it can be adjusted here. So you can start off on one of our smaller plans. If your audience gets bigger or you realize you want some of the features included, you can absolutely upgrade and downgrade as often as you like, whenever you want. And then finally, we have users. This is how you invite other people onto your account. So you may very well just be a one-person army and you just want to manage the station purely on your own. That's absolutely fine. But if you do want others to host live or just help you manage it, you can invite them onto your account. And as I said earlier, each of our plans has a different cap on how many people you can invite. So here we'll have the owner, that's Alan. He can do absolutely everything on the account, and he's the only one who can see billing information. So that's rest assured. Station manager, James, he can do anything Alan can do, apart from see billing information. We have Mike and Reese, they're our music controllers. They can upload content, build shows, schedule live DJs. They can do voice tracking. They can even go live, but they can't change any settings, anything on the back end. And then we also have our DJ, so Nick, David, Graham and myself here. So what a DJ and guest DJ can do is they can only log in remotely, host a live show, log back out. They can't interfere with any programming or any settings. The difference between these DJ and guest DJ is they can a DJ can see how many people are listening. A guest DJ can't. So if you want to keep your listening figures a secret, you absolutely can. So to invite someone, click on invite a user, enter their name. So if it was me, Phil, enter my email address, what role you want me to have. We'll just say DJ. Click on invite. I'll get an email. I'll have my instructions. I'll follow those instructions and I'll get my own unique login in detail. So I can log in from my computer from anywhere in the world and host a show on your station, regardless of where it's based. And one thing to note about a DJ and a guest DJ at that, they can only go live when they've been scheduled. So even if you invited a complete stranger like me, you have no idea what I'm capable of. If you're worried about me hijacking the station in any way, don't be. I can only go live when I've been scheduled by someone above my position. So nice bit of a reassurance and security there. And that's kind of the end of it, really. I've probably gone over a little bit over 30 minutes there, but you can see pretty much just how easy it is to actually get your station online and on air in about 30 minutes. Upload your content, build shows, immediately turn your station on air, and that's it. You've instantly created a 24-hour station, and it's taken you literally minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a couple of questions. I'm going to just stop sharing this particular page here. There we go. Hello again. And I'm going to share my questions page because we did send out obviously emails prior to this all about our have you got any particular questions. So the ones that we've got here, let me make sure I've got the right one up here. There we go. I'm going to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. There we go. Hopefully you can see that now. So questions here. So first of all, these are some of the most popular questions that were asked on that initial form. So first of all, what equipment do I need to begin with? What's necessary and what's not? A very, very popular question. We always say, or rather I always say, the least you need is an average powered Windows or Mac computer, an internet connection, and a USB microphone. That's kind of really all you need. It's, I guess, if you want a bit more control over your live shows, maybe get a mixing desk. If you want to use an XLR microphone, which are arguably better than a USB powered one, such as the one I'm using now is a Shure SM7B. If you wanted to use something like that, that will need to be connected to a mixing desk or an audio interface. An audio interface is pretty much just a small condensed mixer, really, that does less things, but it's arguably get a slightly better sound off them. So what do you need? Windows or Mac computer or laptop, internet connection, and a USB microphone if you intend to speak. What don't you need? Pretty much anything else, unless you really want to invest in them. Mixing desks are particularly good if you want to get live callers on air. You can plug a mobile phone into your desk, call them, that's it, they're live on air. Where can you get the music to play on your radio station from? If you're a bit more old school like me, I say old school, I'm only in my 30s, but I still have tons and tons of CDs from the past sort of 25 years or so. So what you can do is rip tracks off your CDs as long as they're in MP3 format, upload them. If you've purchased tracks digitally off iTunes or Apple Music, whatever it's called these days, upload them, download them onto your computer and upload them onto your account. Pretty much anywhere that you can get MP3 tracks, even things like Amazon, get your tracks that way. A particular website I've used a lot when I worked in national radio is a site called I Like Music. It's fantastic, really, really high quality music. It works out cheaper the more you buy them, so that's why it's good for radio stations, but they produce really, really good music. And there's also lots of places if you want to play royalty-free music as well. And we have a guide on music. You just go on to help.radio.co, just type in music, and you'll see our guide for some great places there. Another good tip actually with music is going to things like eBay, any sort of secondhand places. Just buy compilation albums. You may buy them for a couple of quid, a couple of dollars, but you could have dozens and dozens and dozens of tracks for barely anything. So that's something to consider doing. What are the best marketing strategies to get your radio station recognized? The best advice for that really is to make your station as widely available as possible. And there's so many ways you can do that for free, believe it or not. First of all, There are internet radio directories. They just provide another way of people listening, like Streamer. We actually have a guide on over 30 that you can submit to. It's not necessary to submit to all of them. However, in doing so, you're increasing the likelihood of people finding your station. The idea is you want people to type in the name of your station or something resolving it. So something very likely to it. Sorry, choose my words. And the idea is you want to fill those Google pages with as many hits to your station, whether it is your Facebook page, your Twitter account, 3 different internet radio directories. You just want to fill the internet with as many examples of where your station can be found. Internet radio directories are free. Some are more popular than others. So again, you don't need to submit to them all, but it's really good practice to do so. And yeah, things like social media is hugely beneficial. For one, I just detest using social media, but I can't deny how incredibly popular and useful it is. So create Facebook pages, Twitter accounts. They can often be far more popular than any website you make would be. And it gives people a place to communicate and, again, increase your online visibility. So create free social media pages and be incredibly active on them. Give people content to share. Pictures, memes are an incredibly efficient way of people who wouldn't normally listen to your station are finding it because of just some silly picture, some misheard lyrics, something like that, even just a quote from somewhere. Social media is key, so you should definitely go there first. And to increase its visibility, internet radio directories, websites, even mobile apps, they are, people find them a much more desirable thing to listen to your station through. So I hope that's helped. Is it possible to broadcast on location? And if so, what are my options? It is possible. With software being all cloud-based, nothing needs to be installed or necessarily carried around. You can just take a laptop with as long as you've got an internet connection and maybe something you want to talk into, you can broadcast your entire station just from a laptop in someone's, in a football ground or something if you wanted to report live. Another option is we actually have an iOS app called Pocket Streamer, which turns your iPhone into a portable microphone that just allows you to broadcast live directly from it. So it's great for on-location broadcasting, when we are allowed to go outdoors again. It's also great if you wanted to use it as a live interview tool, just use your iPhone as a microphone. So Pocket Streamer is something that will really, really be beneficial to on-location broadcasting. And again, all you need to do to broadcast from it is simply your iPhone, not even a computer. Are there any free platforms or software I can use to help promote and stream my radio station on? I've already said it. Yeah, internet radio directories. That I said they're all free. And I'll show you on the next slide. We've actually got a video that our founder James Mulvaney has done, which goes through a number of these internet radio directories for you. So yes, look for them. They can be incredibly helpful. Also, things like networking on social media as well, retweeting people. Using the right hashtags, just get people to do your marketing for you is a good piece of advice. How can I monetize my online radio station? You can, obviously, this is probably one of the most popular questions we get asked. There are different ways to do it. Simplest ones, I say simplest, not always the easiest, is getting things like small businesses to advertise with you, particularly if you are a growing station in a small community. Charge people just reasonable rates to maybe sponsor one of your shows or just play a 30-second advert once an hour or something like that. Charge people fair rates. They will, if they can afford it, they'll advertise with you longer and longer, and it just gives a bit of revenue. I guess the least that you want to do is make sure your monthly subscription is paid for, or at least half of it, maybe. So getting local advertising. I guess if you get people to give you prizes, maybe, local businesses to just provide you with gifts that you can give away. It's not really monetizing in a way, but it's you getting listeners in that you wouldn't normally due to someone giving you something of a monetary value. Merchandise is another good way. You can sell t-shirts, hats, mugs, maybe all about your radio station. You can also place your radio station behind a paywall. So the only way people can access your station is by paying you directly a monthly subscription fee. But again, if on my next slide, we've actually got another video here, a fantastic video that James has done here on our Radio.co channel, and you'll also find it on James Mulvaney's own YouTube channel as well. 7 ways to make money on your station. He goes through some of the ideas that I've mentioned and more, and he goes into all of them in a lot more detail. It's a fantastic, really essential video if you are interested in eventually making money for your radio. It can be a slow burn. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you really dedicate yourself to it, or anything really, it will be possible. As I said, we also have our online radio directories video here as well, just to give you a rundown on the most popular ones, such as Deezer, or a cheeky way of getting on TuneIn. If you'd like to know a bit more about the equipment that I mentioned earlier, why not check out some of our case studies? We have a fantastic study of Foundation FM based in London, and we have a little tour around their studio to see exactly what they use and how they broadcast. That's something very, very useful. I mentioned it earlier with the equipment. Taking callers live on your radio station is incredibly simple. It only needs to be a mobile phone held up to a microphone, and that's it, you've got a caller on. So that's also worth checking out. And as well, it may be overlooked, but it's incredibly important to make sure you sound just as good as you think you sound on the radio. So also videos such as things like radio scripts for beginners. Learn how to craft and get yourself across in the best way possible by just scripting a couple of links here and there. So that's kind of enough from me at the moment, but I have been asking for some live questions, and Jack behind the scenes has very politely put a couple in my private chat so I can have a look. So we've got Ralph, who's asked, can I upload WAV files? Unfortunately not, Ralph. We only accept MP3 or AAC or M4A. Anything else cannot be uploaded. Eddie, can I make custom tags to organize my songs? Yes, I mentioned it in the tour with the tags. You can name those tags anything you like. It can be a random series of numbers or letters. It can be as broad or as specific as you like. But yes, make them as fitting for you, as personal as you want them to. James has asked, can I embed a player to my WordPress website? Yes, you can. The web player that we have made is pretty versatile. It can be embedded on pretty much any website, as far as we're aware anyway. If you are having any troubles, you can get in touch with our support team and we'll have a look what's going on. But yeah, you can embed it on a website that you can build through us, through our website builder, Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, pretty much wherever you build your website. And if you do have issues, come to us and we'll have a look into it for you. Principal Kibby, can I start a radio station for my students to work on? Yes, you absolutely can. Before Christmas, I think it was actually October or November time, I actually did a full webinar about how to launch a school radio station. So it's actually on our website and on our YouTube channel. So if you are watching on YouTube, have a look through it, Principal Kibby. But it goes through a tour, pretty much exactly what I've gone through here, but in a bit more detail about how students can apply themselves to launching their own station, some content ideas, things like radio dramas, interviews. So it's a tour, but also great bite-sized tips to get students and teachers involved. And for anyone listening who is interested in launching their own school, college, university radio station, anyone involved in the educational sort of world is entitled to a 10% discount off any of our plans. All that we ask is that you sign up using a valid, recognized school, college, university email address. Get in touch with us, and if eligible, we'll put a discount on your account. So yes, so Principal Kibby, absolutely launch an online radio station. It's incredibly easy, as I hope you've been able to see, for anyone of any age and ability to get started. And we actually have dozens and dozens and dozens of schools all over the world using our platform. And as well, go on our website, go on our webinars area on the website. There's a link right at the bottom of any of our web pages where you'll find webinars and how to start a school radio station. Where can I get music to play in between my talk shows, asks Peter. As I went through a couple of ideas before, but yes, tracks off CDs, places you can buy legitimate tracks like I Like Music, Amazon, even royalty-free music. There's particular sites called Hook Sounds, which produce very, very high quality royalty-free music. There's more companies out there. But yeah, again, go to help.radio.co, type in music, and you'll find a hit on one of our helpful articles there. RG, can I sell advertising spots on my show? Yes, you can. So it's up to you. Anything to do with monetizing your station, we're not involved in. So you can advertise as much as you like, and you'll keep 100% of any revenue you make. It's just up to you to source the advertising, to make it available, to upload it on your station, and schedule it, as often as you like. So yes, by all means, please sell advertising spots in your station if you're able to make a little bit of revenue for your station. Donna, can I upload pre-recorded talk shows? Yes, I didn't actually go into specifics with this, but yeah, you can upload anything you want onto your online radio station, whether that is podcasts, interviews, even entire pre-recorded shows. Some people prefer to do pre-recorded shows recorded elsewhere, either by themselves or with other guests, and then upload them and then schedule them. So yes, you can absolutely do that. Upload tracks that are hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long, maybe your whole shows. Upload them, build them into a single playlist, and then schedule them for broadcasting. So yes, whatever it is you want to broadcast, the answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can. And Oliver, can I stream my station to Facebook and Twitter? Yes, you can, Oliver, although you would need to use an additional piece of software to Radio.co. Something like OBS, if you are familiar with that, it's quite a widely recognized a video streaming service. Even what we're using a platform called StreamYard. Basically, what you need to do is you need to connect your Radio.co audio feed to a video feed, and then you can feed that through, saying feed far too many times, but you can send that through to YouTube and Facebook Live at the exact same time. So yes, it is possible. Just use something else alongside us. One thing to note, though, if you are planning on playing copyrighted material, so rather any music on your Facebook or YouTube streams, you will more than likely find your station cut and muted. The reason being is because these companies like Facebook and YouTube, as much money as they make, they aren't covered for copyright streaming. You need explicit permission from the publishers themselves. Even if you did get yourself a broadcast license, there's no way for Facebook and YouTube to know that you have one. So only stream live talk content is my best advice for that, really. So I hope that helps as well with OBS. Again, we have a guide on how to set this up. I believe it's called Why You Should Use Facebook Live for Your Broadcasting. But if you go on our blog and just type in OBS in the search bar, you will find guides on there on how to do it. So I hope that's helpful, Oliver. I've got a couple of maybe another couple of minutes or so. I'm having a look if we have any more questions. Let's have a look. I know I've got one that's just been asked in regards to licensing. So do we require PRS, LOML, or limited online music licensing? I think that stands for, I forget, and PPL, or just one of them? The limited online music license is usually the name of the specific license that you can get from a number one of these organizations. Pretty much that should be all that you need. As long as the license covers you for what you feel you need to be covered for. So the country you're broadcasting from, or the style of music you're playing. Most licenses are quoted on average listening hours for that year. So they'll give you a quote for something like $300, permitted you don't broadcast or have more than 2,000 listening hours a year. Sounds reasonable, but it's also very difficult to determine how many listeners you will get if it's your first year of broadcasting. So licensing can be a bit of a minefield. The only advice I can really give is just get in contact with your licensing organizations independently. So in the UK, it's PRS and PPL. You may need a license from one of them. You may need a license from both of them. It can depend entirely on what you plan to do with your station. Get in contact with them. They'll point you in the right direction. Carlos says, actually, just because I've just seen it at the bottom, will the tags that I have within my DJ software show up within Radio.co? And that's a good question, one that we do get asked a lot. When you upload content, any metadata that you include, so the artist title, the name of the artist, the track title, as long as that's correct when you upload it, that will be replicated when you upload the file. And if it's named correctly, we'll also pull the artwork directly from Apple Music as well. So if it doesn't have artwork attached to the file already, we'll pull it in. If you use any other metadata fields for maybe the BPM of the track, any copyrighted material, or any tags that you've done it within that track, they won't transfer over to Radio.co. The only metadata we display is track title, artist, artwork, and album title. So if you have any tags that you have spent a while creating, chances are when you do upload them, you will need to add those tags in manually again. So Sorry if you've done that already and it's going to take you a while to redo them when you upload them. But yeah, unfortunately, any tags that you have pre-attached to your tracks cannot be visible on Radio.co. We'll have to create them yourself. I've probably got like 1 minute left. Let's just see if I'm scanning through the top to see if I have any particular questions here. So Albert Fleming's actually asked a question which a lot of people do actually ask me about. It may sound very, very simple, but it's a major concern for people. What do I call my radio station? A lot of people always ask me, do I have to call it something FM, or does it have to include a call sign or a number to it? The answer is no. You can call your station anything you like. It's up to you. One thing I would consider though is checking all the bases. So if you have a name for your radio station, maybe check that no one else has that name on Twitter, maybe Twitter handle, that there's no station that has that same name on Facebook. Even things like domain names, have a research of the domain name for your station, because ideally, if you are creating social media pages and a website for your station, you want to make sure that no one else has it already, and you can want to direct people to something as direct as your station name. So if I wanted to create something called Phil FM, does someone already have Phil FM on Twitter already? Do they have a domain name, www.philfm.com? Check all that, and that will help you just make a decision, because you want to make sure you can be found as easily as possible at the end of the day. But yeah, there's no restrictions on what you can call your station, whatever you like. So there we go. So I hope that has been helpful, guys. If I know there's been lots of questions asked, I'm sorry if I've not been able to go through all of them with you this evening. If you do have anything else you do want to ask, please get in touch. Send me an email, studio@radio.co, and I will answer any other questions at all. You'll also find a huge amount of resources on our website. So our university, Radio.co. Our website, go to our Radio.co University. You'll find tons of breakdown videos about how our software works, but also things about tips for production, tips for equipment to use, how to monetize, how to make jingles, script writing, things like this. You'll find them all there. So go to our university there, and also our blog. And if you need anything at all, again, that email address to contact me is studio@radio.co. Thank you once again for joining me. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing, or rather hearing, your stations broadcasting with us very, very soon. Take care.
Starting a radio station has never been easier. Click here and I'll take you to a free guide which shows you exactly how you can start a radio station with minimal fuss, no technical headaches, plus also start getting those all-important listeners. How does that sound? Click here and I will take you to my free guide.